Happy Aloha Friday, everyone, and welcome back to the CO2 Rundown. I'm your host, Chad Owens. Today's a special show. I've got a very special guest joining me here shortly. We're going to talk about all the sports that's going on. Obviously, University of Hawaii football is taking on Fresno State. That's a big one. World Series. Yeah, we got it all. Super excited about today. So I hope you guys all are as well. And I hope you guys had a solid week. It is Aloha Friday. Hope you guys had a successful one and are looking forward to the weekend. Without further ado, let's dive on in to the CO2 Rundown. All right. I got my special guest here, my son, Chad Owens Jr., joining me here today. How you doing, boy?
I'm doing good.
That's it? Just good? It's Aloha Friday, man. You on the show.
I'm really good.
Okay. Look, University of Hawaii Rainbow Warrior, right? Receiver. I know you've been out with an injury. Let everyone know where you are right now in your rehab process, and how are you feeling about that?
Oh yeah, so I'm just coming off, a broken foot early in fall camp, and right now I'm just trying to get back my, balance and strength in my foot and my whole leg. But I'm feeling good, no pain at all for the past month. So hopefully back soon, and feeling good.
Can't wait to join the boys again, huh?
Yeah, can't wait to be, practicing or doing something football related. But take it slow. It's only my freshman year. I'm redshirting, so don't need to rush back. But man, I just miss playing football and just being out there with the boys. So
yeah, well, let's dive into that. We're taking on Fresno State tomorrow. Mm-hmm. They're 4-4. They're first in the Mountain West. You've been, following the journey as we all have with our football team, and I've seen progression. I've seen the new implements of the offense, run and shoot. What have you seen? Just because that's all your boys. Like, what have you seen? And if there's any players in particular that have stepped up, what have you noticed that has been the biggest difference? Number one, and what do you think needs to happen for us to go on the road in Fresno, which you haven't experienced it? I've experienced it a lot. All right, that was a rival of ours. What do you think we need to do on the road to sort of close out and finish games? Because I feel like that's what our struggle has been, to really finish.
I think just coming out hot, starting games good, and we've been starting games pretty good the past few weeks. Having the lead into this halftime in the fourth quarter, but just finding that finish and that drive to put teams away when we can. And I think the guys are really stepping up. Braden's improving week by week. Getting the offense down. Receivers always improving, and DP and the O-line. Our running game's always there. But I want to shout out Peter on the defense, freshman DB. He's been playing really well the past few weeks. And I think some of you know, but he's been going through a tough time. His mom recently passed, and to see him playing as well as he is, going through such a tough time, it's inspiring. And I think some of the guys are feeding off his energy and motivation for everyone, to keep playing like that. But shout out to Peter and the whole defense holding it down. But I think this week we just got to focus in on little details and just finish.
Yeah,
and then
hey,
out the win.
Well said, and yeah, shout out to Peter, man. That's tough to do. And you hear about these stories all the time. It happens on every level, and it's football. And as you know, this is your first time, right? Managing it, going to being a student athlete, it's hard enough. And to get an extra why, an extra motivator, and to go out there and use it as fuel, it is inspiring. So, good job, brother. Keep it up. We're right here with you. Yeah, like I talked about, son, I've experienced, Bulldog Stadium. I've experienced Fresno. It's tight. They're on top of you. It's a hostile environment. But as football players, that's what we thrive in. You want, you didn't get a chance to go to the big house. That's that energy. So anytime we get a chance to get in these types of environments, these types of games, we got to take advantage of it. We kind of let the moment be bigger than us or in the play. You talked about finish. I've been talking about this on the show for a couple of weeks now. I'm going to be honest with you. You guys are a young football team. But there's no excuses, right? Every week we get better. There's no rookies anymore. We're X amount of games in, and we got the experience, and we just need to continue to find those plays. Every game is made up of one or two plays that's going to decide the win.
Yeah.
And so we just need to come out on top of those plays. Anything you'd like to shout out or say to the fans or encourage them?
Stick with us. It's gonna be a process, but I mean, it's getting better week by week, and just trust the process, and we'll be Mountain West champs one day soon.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, that's it. Let's go, Bows. We're staying right here in the college football ranks. Huge game coming up this week. I think it's already like a rivalry game. It's Tennessee, Georgia, number one versus number one, in my opinion, right? First of all, who do you like in this game and why?
I mean, Tennessee's offense looked unstoppable against Alabama, but Georgia's defense is something else. So it's gonna be a good game. I mean, I don't even know who I'm gonna pick or think is gonna win. I think it's gonna be a really close game, and may the best come out on top.
Yeah. Does the winner of this game eventually become the national champions this season, you believe? Or is there another team that could get in there that you feel? I mean, you can never count out Alabama.
No.
But what's your opinion on this game? Who wins this game?
I think whoever wins this game is obviously going to be the consensus number one overall team in the country. But I think, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, they're all undefeated. So, those teams, you never know. Any given day, any given game, they could beat any of these teams week in, week out. So we'll see towards the end of the season, how the rankings finish out and who's in the college football playoff and the matchups. But I think this week, I got to go with Georgia. They're defending national champs, great defense. I mean, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like the pick. I think they have more big stage time, more big stage experience, and they are the defending champs. So they got that little chip on their shoulder. But something about being the underdog or that team that's trying to dethrone that champion. And so Tennessee, watch out. It's going to be, like you said, an unbelievable football game. You definitely want to tune in to this one. University of Hawaii Rainbow Wahine volleyball currently first in the Big West Division. Amber Ejide, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. Excuse me if that's not the proper, way to say it, but you're coming off a career performance on the road, helping your team get that victory. And now we're at home. We're hosting Long Beach State this weekend. Who's third in the division, in the conference? For you, as a football player, because I know you've gone to these games, you guys love supporting other sports. What is it about that, and in our football games, the student section is going wild, but how important is it for athletes to support athletes, at the college level?
I mean, it's very important because, you want them to come to your games and, you're going to show the same support and go to their games and support them. And, it's just a mutual respect between everyone, go to everyone's games, support them, cheer. And it's a fun experience, watching the games and stand cheer up,
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, what's watching a Rainbow Wahine volleyball game for you? Something that you didn't really ever experience until getting here. What has that been like? What's the moment for you in a volleyball game that gets you excited when you guys are in it with the boys?
I think the last point, the match point, everyone's doing the clap, the chant, and it gets really loud when they get the last point when they win. It gets really loud. It's just a fun experience.
The energy.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy in there. It's closed environment. There's like 5,000 fans in there. It's just loud. And it's just fun watching volleyball games.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We just want to wish you guys good luck this weekend. Continue on that train. We know that we are leading the division right now. We're tops in the game. We've always been up there. And, we've got a reputation, right? As Rainbow Wahine, even our men's volleyball team, 2-time national champs. So we've got championship pedigree. And we've got a championship fan base. We've got some of the best volleyball fans in the country, if not the best. So we just want to say good luck this weekend. Continue to work hard. Continue to play for each other. Let's go, Bows. Into the World Series, where this has just been an absolute unbelievable World Series. Game 5 was the closest game out of the entire series.
Yeah.
Houston, in Game 1, Houston had the lead.
Yep.
They were up 5-0.
5-0.
Phillies came back to win. Houston dominates Game 2.
Yeah.
Phillies, dominate Game 3. Was that the home run derby?
Home run derby.
And then
Game 4.
Houston dominated.
No-hitter.
No-hitter.
Game 5.
And then here are Game 5. Just happened. Very, very tight. But it was the most important game because Houston now has the lead in the series, 3-2. One win away from being World Series champs, and they head back to Houston for the last 2 games.
Yeah.
What have you seen? Because you're a former baseball player. You love the game, or you follow the sport. What have you seen that's been the most impressive thing, other than the things we just discussed, we talked about?
I think just, it's been, obviously a close series. Some games are just blowouts. Bryce Harper's been on fire, hitting home runs after home runs. But I think, it really comes down to, the bullpen. After the starters come out, the last, 4 or 5 innings, when you're really down to crunch time, the bullpen has to lock in and, not give up any hits, no runs. It's especially last game, it was a close game right to the end.
Yeah, they were right there. I think in the bottom of the it was the bottom of the 6th, 7th.
Yeah.
There was one out. They had 1 or 2 runners on. The Phillies did, so they had 2 at bats to tie it and potentially take the lead.
Yeah.
And you talk about the bullpen, shut them out. And this is one thing that I sort of didn't really understand in baseball, is that some pitchers, they come in for like one batter, an inning, a couple batters. Like, why? Like, what is that? Is that matchups, or what is that?
It's matchups. So they want to put their, best pitchers against some of their hitters that they think they could get out. It's just matchup over matchup. If this lefty wants to go into, he's more comfortable pitch against righties, he's going against this guy, or lefties, vice versa, he's going to go against this guy. So it's all a matchup.
Strategy. It's a strategy.
Yeah. So it's a chess game.
Wow. Well, I had the Yankees winning the World Series this year. They got outs. Then when this matchup was at the beginning, okay, I got the Phillies. Now here we are. I mean, they still got a chance. They got 2 games. They got to go on the road and win Game 6.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts going into Houston for Game 6? You think it's done, or you think it's going to be a Game 7? What's your thoughts based on how it's been?
Yeah, I think this series deserves a Game 7. I think it's been a very good series, and I think both teams have played very well. So I think Philly is going to come out the win, force a Game 7, and it's winner take all in Game 7. So it's going to be, I think it deserves a Game 7. I think it will go to a Game 7.
I love it. And if that was to happen, and if it was to be an epic, would this go down as one of the greatest World Series of all time? And there's probably been so much, but in recent years, I mean, I'm one of those guys. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a playoff baseball guy. That's when I tune in. That's when I love to tune in, right? They play so many games. It's so long. But playoff baseball, when we were in Toronto, man, the Blue Jays, we were just Jose Bautista bat flips, like we were on it. It's exciting times. So playoff baseball is exciting, and you're right. This World Series deserves a Game 7. So Phillies, let's go. Let's make it happen. Shane Victorino, hey, send that aloha, that flying Hawaiian energy out there to Houston, because they're gonna need it. Woo! Hey, and that is it for today's show. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. And boy, I want to thank you for tuning in. That's a little handshake right there, That's a little thing. Thanks for tuning in with me today. Thanks for being part of the show. You guys, just want to make sure you guys have a unbelievable weekend. I got to say thank you, though, to Long's Drugs, before we get out of here. Mahalo so much for the support. Continue to support local, everyone, and make Long's Drugs a part of your days. Son, you've watched my show on my clothes. Do you know the things I close? Do you know what I encourage people to do over the weekend? Well, hey, pay attention, all right? make sure you guys reset, relax, and recover. And gear up for another winning week. I'm Chad Owens.
I'm Chad Owens Jr.
And you're watching the CO2 Rundown. Aloha.